The day the sun disappeared, the myth of Amaterasu and the cave. In the ancient myths of Japan, there is one story that stands above all others. It is the tale of Amaterasu, the radiant sun goddess, and the day when her light disappeared from the world. This story is recorded in the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki, the oldest chronicles of Japan. It is known as the legend of Ama no Iwato, the heavenly rock cave. In this tale, Amaterasu hides inside a sacred cave, and the entire world falls into darkness. For ancient people, this was not just a myth. It was a way to understand terrifying events in nature, such as the sudden disappearance of the sun during a solar eclipse. But before we explore that theory, let us follow the story step by step. Part 1: The Quarrel with Susanoo. The trouble began with Susanoo, the storm god and younger brother of Amaterasu. Susanoo was known for his wild and destructive nature. Wherever he went, storms raged, rivers flooded, and chaos followed. When he entered the heavenly realm of Takamagahara, his reckless behavior reached new extremes. He destroyed rice fields, ruined sacred halls, and frightened the gods. But his most shocking act came inside a sacred weaving hall. Amaterasu was quietly weaving holy garments for the gods. Suddenly, Susanoo threw the bloody skin of a flayed horse into the hall. The sacred place was defiled. The attendants were terrified. And Amaterasu herself was filled with anger and sorrow. Unable to endure her brother's violence, Amaterasu withdrew from the world. She shut herself inside the Ama no Iwato, a massive cave sealed with a stone door. And with her disappearance, the sun itself vanished from the sky. Part 2: A World Without the Sun. The world was plunged into darkness. Without the light of the sun, crops withered. The air grew cold. And evil spirits roamed freely across the land. For the people of ancient Japan, this was not simply a story. Darkness meant hunger, fear, and death. The gods themselves trembled, for without the light of Amaterasu, order had collapsed. The gods of Takamagahara, the heavenly realm, were desperate. Without Amaterasu, the world was cold and silent. Nothing could grow. Nothing could thrive. Part 3: The Council of the Gods. So the 8 million gods gathered in front of the sealed cave. There, they held a great council. How could they bring back the sun? Some suggested force. Others suggested prayer. But nothing seemed strong enough to move the goddess of the sun. Part 4: The Dance of Ame no Izum. Finally, one goddess stepped forward. Her name was Ame no Izum, the goddess of dance and laughter. She declared boldly, "If Amaterasu will not come out in sorrow, then let us draw her out with joy." In front of the cave, Izum prepared a stage. She overturned a wooden tub and leapt upon it. She began to dance wildly, stomping her feet, swinging her arms, and shaking her body. Her robe slipped from her shoulders. Her movements became playful, even a little provocative. The gods burst into laughter. Their laughter shook the heavens. From inside the cave, Amaterasu heard the noise. Confused, she thought, "The world is in darkness. Why are the gods laughing so joyfully?" Curiosity overcame her sorrow. Slowly, she pushed open the stone door, just enough to peek outside. Part 5: The Return of the Sun. At that moment, a mighty god named Ame no Tajikiryo seized the edge of the door. With all his strength, he pulled it wide open. Blinding light poured forth. The sun returned to the heavens. Darkness was destroyed, and the world was filled with warmth again. The gods cheered. The land rejoiced. Order and harmony were restored. All because of the bold dance of MOMIZizm and the strength of Kojiki. This moment marked more than the return of the sun. It became the foundation of ritual dance in Japan, the origin of sacred kagura, performed for centuries in shrines across the land. Part 6. The Solar Eclipse Theory. Now that we have heard the story, let us ask the question: what does this myth really mean? One popular theory is that the tale of Ama no Iwato is a poetic description of a solar eclipse. Imagine the fear of ancient people. The sun, which gave them warmth and life, suddenly vanished from the sky. Darkness spread in the middle of the day. Animals grew silent. Birds returned to their nests. It must have felt like the end of the world. In such a moment, people might explain it as the sun goddess hiding in a cave. And when the eclipse ended, when the sunlight returned, they imagined the gods pulling open the stone door. Uzum's wild dance and the laughter of the gods could be echoes of rituals performed during eclipses, ceremonies meant to bring back the light. Of course, this is only one possible interpretation. We cannot say for certain that this myth was directly based on an eclipse. But the similarities are striking, and they reveal how myth and nature often blend together. This story is not only cosmic, it is also deeply tied to a real place in Japan. Part 7. The Sacred Shrine of Ama no Iwato. In the mountains of Takachiho, in Miyazaki Prefecture, stands Ama no Iwato Shrine. This shrine is dedicated to the cave where Amaterasu is said to have hidden. From the shrine grounds, visitors look across the river, toward a sacred cavern known as the Heavenly Rock Cave. Nearby lies Ama no Yasugawara, a massive stone cavern beneath towering cliffs. Legend says that this is the very place where the 8 million gods gathered to discuss their plan. Even today, pilgrims visit these sites. They stack stones in prayer. They walk the forest paths. And they feel the sacred weight of a story that has lasted more than 1,000 years. The myth of Ama no Iwato is not locked in the past. It lives on in Japanese culture. Part 8. The Legacy of the Myth. Uzum's dance is remembered as the origin of kagura, the sacred Shinto dance performed in shrines. In these dances, performers wear masks, chant, and move with rhythm to invite the presence of the gods. It is a living tradition that links today's festivals to the ancient laughter in front of the cave. The story also inspires art and literature. From ukiyo-e prints to modern novels, from no plays to contemporary anime, the image of a hidden sun goddess continues to shine. Conclusion: the eternal power of the Amaterasu legend. And so, what began as a tale of grief and darkness has become a story of joy, resilience, and renewal. Let us return to the heart of the myth. The sun vanished. The gods laughed. And the light returned. The legend of Amaterasu in the Heavenly Rock Cave is more than just a story. It may reflect natural events like a solar eclipse. It is tied to real shrines and landscapes in Japan. And it gave birth to cultural traditions that still live today. Whether it came from memory or imagination, this myth shows how ancient people tried to understand the mysterious power of nature. And even now, the day the sun disappeared remains one of the most powerful and beautiful legends in Japanese mythology.